Hey folks, David Stewart here. Hope you guys are having a great day. Had a slight crash of OBS there, which was interesting. Very interesting because it put made my entire video card like have a moment there. So sorry for that little interruption. We'll get going here. Check my mic levels. One of the problems, I guess, on a recent video is that you're like it's peaking, like I'm peaking the mic, but the the audio, the audio on OBS doesn't show correctly. Basically, anything will show as peaking at -7 dB, which when you're trying to record, you want to record like above -10. So it just all looks the same, no matter like how loud or quiet your mic is. And if it's a little bit too quiet, backing off 10 dB means it's 1/10 as quiet, because of the way the power works. It's kind of interesting. Turn down the music here. All right. I'm not sure what I want to talk about as an intro here. Let me give you a quick opinion on the new Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom. Basically, it's another mediocre open world Zelda game. All the complaints I had about the first, I guess I shouldn't say the first, but all the complaints I had about the previous game, Breath of the Wild, I have about this game. Your weapons shatter into pieces every 5 hits, which is really annoying. That's one of the most annoying gameplay elements I've ever encountered. Is the way that the weapons break in Breath of the Wild and the way that they break in Tears of the Kingdom. Only this time, it's actually a little bit more annoying because not only can you just you could just pick up a weapon off the ground and use it, but for it to be good, you have to pause and stick something onto it for it to do more damage. You have to stick a rock onto your rusty sword to do some actual damage to the moblin or whatever you happen to be attacking at that moment. So that you get this extra little annoyance that happens multiple times, and it's really annoying when you're in the middle of combat to have to stop, go into a menu, pull out another weapon, break it, stop, go into a menu, pull out another weapon, break it, stop, eat food, right? Like you're menuing so much in these new Zelda games. It really takes you out of the experience. One of the things I liked about Wind Waker and Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword is that you could put your items on different buttons, so you weren't having to menu a whole lot. It just reduced the amount of menuing that you had to do by having things that 3 or 4 things that you could set to your controller. It really made it a lot more fun to play those games compared to this newer game by a lot. Now there are fun elements to the game. There's always some fun to be had. I'd say just like with Breath of the Wild, the first however many hours you play in the intro area, those are really fun hours. The problem is when they kind of open up the world to you and you realize, once again, just like the previous game, it's mostly empty space and not filled with anything that's interesting. It's like they took designers or they took people and they just had them throw stuff all over the map, like ruins and stuff, but you never know what the ruins are to. So there's not really any depth to the world once again. And there's just too much time spent traveling between interesting points. You're punished for exploration, just like in the first game, where if you bothered to explore, if you bothered to do combat, then you would get a reward that was so bad it wasn't worth doing the combat. So that just kind of repeats in this game. Actually, I'd say the rewards are slightly better. So they slightly improved that with Tears of the Kingdom. The low rewards for exploring. But still, the optimal way to play the game is to avoid all combat and just go between whatever points you're trying to get to. And maybe if there's like a shrine on the way, you do the puzzle shrine and get, a little light fragment or whatever to get a heart container later. So you can do those on the way. Chances are you'll just come across a bunch of them, and you don't have to get every heart container. You don't have to get every stamina bar in the game. You can just get them as they come across you. There were plenty of videos of Breath of the Wild of people walking in and killing killing Ganon with 3 hearts or whatever first thing in the game. So yeah, somebody said it's like Gary's mod. Yeah, you paid $70 for Gary's mod. which is fun. So those elements are fun, and they do provide some fun, but they get old after a while. Like once you realize that it's not, it doesn't really add that much. It doesn't solve the core problems of like your weapons shattering. What would be cool is if you could use that stuff to like repair, like make new weapons and repair them, and do that kind of stuff, so that you could feel attached to something that you made rather than having everything be completely disposable and worthless in the game. To me, that doesn't really feel very good. But your mileage, I guess your mileage may vary depending on your attitude towards it, right? So overall, I don't, it's not one of these things where I'm like, you should wait for a sale. Nintendo games never go on sale. Chances are, if you're going to buy this game, you already bought it. But maybe you could buy a used copy if you weren't into Breath of the Wild. If you thought Breath of the Wild was really good, then you'll like this game. I think it's better than Breath of the Wild by a little bit. But ultimately, if you have played any kind of open world game, even Far Cry, it's better than the Zelda version by a wide stretch, in my opinion. Far Cry is much more fun to play, and I'm not even really a fan of the Far Cry games, other than Blood Dragon. I like Far Cry Blood Dragon. So yeah, I mean, you can buy it or not buy it. That's my opinion on it as far as game design goes. And there's not really much of a story. Like, you get more of the story in the first few hours that you play, like than in the next however many hours that you play. So Breath of the Wild was very light on story. This one's also very light on story. Problem is, it's not, like, the gameplay loop is really not very fun at the end of the day. It starts to become very boring. And I got really bored with the game after. Well, it's okay. My 7-year-old is enjoying it. I know it's like an E10 game. It's whatever. But, like, he has fun making things and exploring, so it's fine. I don't think he would bother to beat the game, if I'm being honest, knowing him. I think he would get bored of the game long before he got to the end, but everybody's different. Most of the people I knew who beat Breath of the Wild, they had this feeling of fatigue with it long before they finished the game. They were really no longer interested in playing it, but they felt this compulsion to get to the end of the game and beat Ganon. And so everybody was really disappointed with the final boss. They were disappointed with the Calamity Ganon boss. They felt like he was too easy, or yada yada yada. And I get that. Those satisfying final boss encounters like you got with Wind Waker or even Twilight Princess, you just don't really. You're not going to get that in an open world game that's not built around getting lots of different kinds of items. So the things that they jettisoned from the Zelda formula, I really miss. Things like, you get the item to get past this area. That would be a natural way to gate the world a little bit, and they don't really do that. They did that in most of the previous installments. You need the step ladder to get to this part of the world, or you need, the hook shot to get over this chasm, whatever it's going to be. They don't really do that in this version of the game. So you can't have the final boss have a lot of crazy mechanics that would use your items, because you don't have those items. Those items don't exist in the game. So it's a lot more simplified, and therefore it feels like it's missing a lot with the combat and with lack of dungeons. Dungeons are carefully designed to give you a complete experience that makes you think about puzzles with a new item that you got. There's a whole design language that goes with that that's just missing from Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is more like a sandbox game, and that appeals to some people. But I think for a lot of sandbox games like Minecraft, there's no end goal in mind. You just play it until you're bored with it and you stop. Whereas this one is really set up with, like, there's something that you need to do to accomplish in the game. And so after a while of exploring and nothing is actually delivering you something that will help you do that, it starts to get boring and annoying with that, So to me, it's a little bit, not my favorite. And because these have been big sellers, and I think they're big sellers because the Nintendo Switch is a big seller, and I think they're big sellers because most of the people on Nintendo platforms don't play open world games. They don't play them very much anyways. You could play Skyrim on the Switch. If you were exclusively a Nintendo player, which almost no one is because they didn't buy the Wii U, which was better than the Switch in my opinion, but you could play Skyrim. There might be a Far Cry game on there. I think you could play The Witcher, which is kind of an open world game, but you're pretty limited on your exposure to those things. Whereas like on the PlayStation platform, there's a ton of open world games. There's too many. In fact, I'm tired of open world games, and I think most of them are just poorly done. They throw a bunch of things out in an open world and say explore, as though that's a substitute for good gameplay, as though that's a substitute for a story, as though that's a substitute for careful design. Like the design of games, like basically in the format from Link to the Past on, whether it's Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time, they have Ocarina of Time is like the 3D format version. They have to be very carefully designed. So there's a lot of careful choices about how you make a dungeon, about how you make the world, all of those things that go with it, and that stuff's just missing from Breath of the Wild and from Tears of the Kingdom. So have a good one. So anyway, that's my I guess early impressions. I don't know if I'll finish the game. At a certain point, it becomes for me a little bit too boring to want to like bother continuing. So I don't know. I don't know what I'll do with that. I'm gonna grab a controller real quick and play. We're gonna play some Final Fantasy, but I realize my controller's in the other room because my son is playing with it. So I'll be right back. Boop boop. There we go. All right, I'm going to use a PlayStation controller because I can't find the Xbox controller right now. All the prompts are going to be off. They'll be like they'll be Xbox prompts, which is annoying, but whatever. We'll figure it out. Boop, boop, boop. Let me get this all cleared up here. Oh, I have a Substack, so I'm gonna link that real quick if I can. We'll link it for now, it's going to be cross-posted with my actual blog, which I do myself, or host myself. So, for now, all right, here we go. Need to get a new gas lock for my chair here too. I'm like shrinking. Let's get up our Steam here. Doop. There we go. That should work. Final Fantasy for fans and first timers. I'm going to pull up my chat over here too, so I'll have that right here. There it is. Should look okay. TJ Marquise likes that style of game. That's fine. I figured some people are going to like it. See what we got here. Something to deliver. Find out what we need to deliver. I'm just gonna let my chair just sink all the way down. Just like like randomly, it's just like it's like lower and lower. Changing a gas lock on a chair is a huge pain. Alright, this game looks pretty good. You know what? I need a different controller. I forgot this one started developing stick drift. That'll work. It'll work. Hey, cat. What are you doing? Go. Go. Alright, fine. You can stay. We got some auto walk to the left here, which is nice. Alright, hold on. I'm going to switch out the controller. All right, here we go. One thing about the PS5 I'm actually quite disappointed in is the controller quality. It's not that it's a badly designed controller, it's that it, you know, I didn't have any stick drift problems on any of my controllers ever.
Kinda.
With the PlayStation before this.
When I went
Return a car.
up in the morning, you could.
The Final Fantasy with pretty food.
Ready for more? You bet. Let's hit it.
Let's hit it. Alright, let's go up to scenic delivery. 5 gil. I wish the Horizon games had a good guy human faction from Old Earth, but what else can one expect from
See that you buy no more than we need.
Humans and bad.
In my mother's
Dude, the VR one is awful. Like, it's really not a good game. It's sickening. Like, I don't know who they must have designed it for people without inner ears or something, without any labyrinths in their skull, because like they have you climbing. It's you know, and I don't really get nauseated from most VR experiences, but like there's something about grabbing rocks and climbing and having the camera like shake up and down. It's just awful. It's the most nauseating VR game I've ever played, is that Horizon VR game. And it's not even good. Like, it's cool. The environment looks good in VR, but it's not like the gameplay's really good. It's actually not.
You boys eating your
It's
fill?
like, hey, you know, the archery from Skyrim was good in VR. Let's just, that's the game, okay?
If y'all liked it, come on back.
So I should have had a quest. Wait, where's the quest? There it is, quest. Hand him the tomato.
You all went
Quest
and
to
got
get
what
a
I
tomato.
asked for.
Too easily. I thought Sid told you to give us work.
Yeah, well, I guess I went a little soft on you. I'll be sure to give you more of a challenge next time. How's about that? Anywho, I appreciate your help. Here's a little care package. Should make for good eating.
Scenic delivery. 300 XP for getting a tomato. Alright. Sheep milk. Funguar. This guy have another... There's another quest here.
Oh, hey boys. You got time to lend a fella a helping hand?
As long as it's not a simple shopping trip this time.
Nope, this one's gonna take some effort. I'm sending y'all straight to the source this time. In other words, it's hunting time. The stuff I want y'all to collect, I'm fixing to use in a new dish. Hope you can help me out.
We have what we came for.
Get it back before it spoils.
Obtain a dagger quill breast. Apparently I already have one. Deliver the ingredient to Taka. I have one in my inventory. Perfect. My kind of quest.
Oh, how was the hunt, boys?
Good. What are you gonna make with this stuff?
Something I know you'll like.
You mean...
Yep. So y'all make sure to drop by and order some. In the meantime, this here will put some meat on your bones.
So, on the Substack, the first thing I'm going to be talking about is the corporate period in the arts. I didn't want to talk too much about it on the stream, but I'll give you a little preview, if you will.
Oh, there you are. So,
Basically about
you
how
do me a
20th
favor?
century operated in
What is it this time?
pop culture
Another
terms,
hunt. My
which was
cupboard's
new in the
darn
20th
near
century.
empty.
Okay, we're on it.
Knew I could do y'all. Good hunting.
Obtain a garrulous sirloin.
Fact is, I know I can count on you boys.
There's a question mark over there. Let's go see.
Seems to me Taka could do his own hunting.
Take a chef's knife and doink.
He's no doubt aware of the proper points of separation. Will be quite the carver.
Oh, hey there, Prince.
Got another
Howdy,
quest.
y'all.
Now, starting in the 20th century, once you
Howdy there, Prince.
have
y'all
mass
all right?
media, actually, I'll talk about it.
More or less.
Doing another part.
Did you need help with something?
Don't you worry. This girl ain't got nothing up her sleeves this time.
Work got you busy?
Got
Most
nothing on
days
your
that's true. But
chest
today's
either.
a little different. I was just about to step away from the garage for a spell. One of our regulars told me they found something real special lying around. A rare can of car wax.
Cindy has
Y'all
breast
could use it
implants,
on
by the way.
regalia, so
You can
I'm on
tell
my way to pick it up.
For us?
by the shape
Let
of
us
it.
do the legwork.
You sure?
It is our car.
I tell you what, you got a point there. Well, if y'all insist, who am I to argue? Might take a little while to find it, though.
Fine.
Fella found it, but didn't have the foresight to grab it.
So we're supposed to venture out into the wild, find the wax, and bring it back.
That's the plan.
Unbelievable. Cindy was willing to go out of her way and risk life and limb for us. She's the best.
You can refuel for 5 gil. Oh, she's gonna pump our gas. I mean, could you make a character that looks like
Wow,
this in
she's looking
2023?
prettier than ever.
I don't know. The tank is now full. Sweet. Alright, let's take a look at the quests here. No, that is quests. Alright. Aspiring Artisan. I need to return that. Alright. Clean up all these little quests here before we do the actual quest. Where is that? It's over there. Alright. One thing I do like is I don't actually have to physically drive the car. I can just go do auto. which I like. I actually really like that.
Everything in order?
Yep.
So yeah, corporate period of the arts. Starting in the 20th century, you have a concept called mass media. You can print things and distribute them across the entire country. That's really the leader of it. That started in the 19th century with writers like Alexander Dumas, Charles Dickens, who were massively popular and could distribute their books pretty widely in their countries. But being able to distribute a book to newsstands, to many shops all over the country, that was a piece of mass media. You also had radio and TV. And so I call it the corporate period of the arts because in prior periods, artists were subsidized by patrons, by rich benefactors. In the corporate period, the corporation is the benefactor. So the corporation, I like how he's reading Japanese there. That's subtle, but it's good. See, he's got the vertical Chinese characters there. Anyway, in the 20th century, you had a corporation as the patron. Corporation paid the artist to make the art, then distributed the art. But the goal of the patron in this case was not simply to make art which they liked or to show off their status, which was the case in previous centuries where you had your patron be a rich benefactor or the church. The church would have you make art, obviously, because churches need beautiful art. So it would serve the purposes of the church. Oh, great. We got more of these guys. So the point of the corporation, though, was really to make profit, and that's how it started. So that's where you get things like genre fiction, is that we're going to make a product for consumer expectations. Oh, these guys are really high level. Let's run away. Let's run away. I could probably kill them. I mean, let's go kill him. Let's go kill him.
Engage the enemy with caution.
Oops. Those are pretty easy, so.
Locked rules. No big deal.
Not too hard, even though they're level 16. My bros shooting them all down. Oh, these guys were pretty easy. Anyway, so if you read that article on Substack, that's really the first part of that. It's the intro to that. It's probably going to be maybe a 7-part series. Be about 10,000 words. I might release it as like a little Kindle book or something, so people can just read it as one thing if they want to. Also to monetize it a little bit.
This is the place Cindy mentioned, right?
Should be. Let's start looking.
All right, here we go, guys. Let's start looking. Have you heard of a channel called A Drink with Crazy? I have not. They shut out independent books. I think you'd be a perfect fit for an interview. Well, I haven't heard of them, so thank you for letting me know.
about some light.
Indeed.
We have to go in here for the wax. Is this a dungeon?
Huh.
Got some goblins in here, I bet. I love how they just like throw goblins. Yeah, goblins to the wall.
I'll circle around.
Can't stop knocked.
What
Alright.
can I say?
3 XP.
And on we go.
Indeed.
Right.
Guess they're going too slow. Let's go. I know it's dark and spooky. That's part of the fun. No, I don't think this is a dungeon. I think this is just like a little niche here. Do you have something here though? Can I turn on power? Nope. Guess we can't turn on power in this tunnel. Alright, is this it? What do I pick it up with? What's the pickup button?
This is it. Looks pretty old.
It's not old. It's arrow wax. Ring a bell?
Not a one.
Unsurprising, given it's 3 decades old.
This stuff's older than we are.
Let's kill all the goblins here. Oops.
No cause for concern.
Did we get them all? Oh, there's still one more.
Never knew I hit him.
There we go. I'm getting better at finesse. I got a C in finesse now. What is at the end here? Let's see, I just kind of want to explore now. They weren't able to get all the DLC. I don't know if this one was a flop. I think it was pretty successful. I don't like the aesthetics of this game. This is like one of the few Final Fantasy games where I'm like, I actively dislike their art direction. I think the graphics look good, but it's like this weird mix of fantasy and modern stuff just doesn't really do it for me. I don't like it. Funguar. Alright, where are we? Alright, we're over here. I don't think we can get past here, can we?
Please, somebody help!
Yeah, that wasn't my imagination.
Some quest destinations are unclear. Explore the area shown on the minimap and locate the target. Okay. Somebody's calling for help, but I don't see them. Hello, where are you?
Stinking hot.
Indeed.
It's Baker, California, gents. Look, it's like Bakersfield. Here's some oil derricks and some farms, some like barns that no one lives in anymore. No one uses. This looks exactly like Kern County, and then like the mountains with the oak trees. This is Kern County. This is where we wandered into Kern County here, guys. Kern County, California. Home of the fog. Alright. Well, I can't find the person who needed help. Is there I got some peppers. Go back this way. Maybe we'll find someone who needed the help. I didn't see them though. Or him. Or her.
Man, it's hot.
Then lose the jacket.
One second here. Something in here? Oh. This guy's hurt. Here he is. We found him. Use a potion. Yeah, here you go.
So much.
All in a day's work.
we go. The dev team was constantly being pulled off to work on other projects. I didn't know that. Yeah, this was originally Final Fantasy Versus 13 is what it was called. And then they made it Final Fantasy 15. Turn to the car. Let's see what we got here. Quests. That's there. That's there. We'll have to do the Declaration of War first. There's a hunt somewhere. That's down there. We'll do that in a minute. It's not critical to do a lot of side quests in this game.
Great range of wares here. Paradise for a technophile like you.
VCR requirement. Help, I'm stuck. A kid's birthday party and I don't know anyone. Please send a helicopter. Thank you for the super chat.
Let's
well,
go shopping.
Works for me.
how can we get people to do things we
They
like?
knocked.
How can we get to know
Coming or
people?
what?
I'm not the most sociable guy either, but usually if you stop and ask someone's name, you can begin a conversation. It's like, well, then what do you ask? Well, it's like, hey, well, who's your kid at this party? Oh, okay. What grade's he in? You just start talking about kids. People love to talk about their kids.
Never seen one of these before. Bring me the parts, and I'll take care of the rest.
You talk about what people do for a living. I'm the worst person to talk to with that. They're like, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. It's like, what do you do? I do I write books and I do YouTube and I mostly just take care of my kids all day.
Fixing to upgrade? Can do.
Deliver coral whiskers. Some coral whiskers.
You found it. Well, I'll be.
Oh, thoughts about gray
Oh,
morality in
it's
Game
still
of Thrones. I'll
pretty
get to in a
good
second.
condition, too.
Everyone can admire Cindy here.
Slap some of this wax on your car, and y'all be
Sid gave her
sliding
some
down the road
breast
and saving
implants. You
gas,
can tell
too.
by the shape of them.
Don't go believing it.
Her
out of
breasts are
hand,
not round
though.
on top.
That's just what the rumors say, among a bunch of other things. Still, in every rumor there's a grain of truth. After all, when it comes to cars, Crown City folk know their business. It's a right shame they put up the wall 30 years ago. A lot of goods became the stuff of legend, including this wax.
That's too bad.
Paw left the city and never looked back, so I've only ever come across what he had lying around the garage. But now that we got ourselves a can, why don't we crack her open and put those rumors to the test? Let me know if you want me to give you a hand with the waxing.
All right. Any other quests here? Oh, she has a quest.
Look who it is. Y'all taking the day off?
Kinda. But if you need a favor, we'd be happy to help out.
Aw, ain't y'all sweet. Don't you worry about little old me. I got a lot to do, but I can fend for myself.
Well, I think we owe it to you.
All right. If y'all wouldn't mind fetching me some ore, I'll fix you up with something real nice like.
Head to the Beluve Mines. I may already have the redstone shard. Maybe I already have
Thanks
it.
for the help, Prince. Have y'all considered becoming hunters full-time?
Sweet, I don't even have to go to the
Let's
mine.
see. This here's for paint. That one's going for treatment. Oh shoot, I gotta phone Holly. Well, looks like another sleepless night.
Seriously?
Got a few folks waiting on repairs.
Some
so
weird
give me
chromatic
calls.
aberration effect
Anywho,
that they have
as
in this game that
promised,
I'm not a
here's your
fan of.
reward. You can slap that decal
So they're
right on
like
the
red
regalia.
around
Try
where
her out.
the light blends. Something that you get with like lenses, like plastic lenses. I kind of found this out with glasses. So I got these new glasses, and they have terrible chromatic aberration, like the worst. It's unbearable. Like it's red and blue and green rainbows on everything. And I like talked to the optometrist. It's like, oh, I think it's the material. And I found out later that they don't really make glasses out of good materials anymore. They started making them all out of like plastic and stuff.
Hey, Prince. Could I borrow you for a sec?
Let me guess. Another
So unless
favor?
you're like actually
And you're
seeking
gonna
out
ask
better
me that
glasses
every
materials,
time,
you won't
ain't
get
ya?
them. And
But as
most
it
places
were,
don't do
I
glass,
was
even though that's
hoping you
technically
might
the
find
best
something
material.
For me.
No problem. One of us will do anything for you.
One of
And
us.
which of y'all would that be? Anywho, I need y'all to fetch me some fiberglass coating. I asked a hunter to bring some back, but wouldn't you know it? Fella took a break somewhere and left it behind. Funny thing is, I ordered it with you boys in mind. If y'all go fetch it for me, I'll throw it on the regalia for you.
Had to Alstor Sloth. Or Slew. Anyway. So, gray morality. So, the thing about Game of Thrones is, we talk about gray morality, and I could probably do a whole video on this. Game of Thrones is really about kind of Machiavellianism. And so, George R. R. Martin's perspective on it is really that Machiavellianism is what will win. And this is actually correct. And so one of the things we could take from Game of Thrones' moral perspective is that Machiavellianism is what will be
Never thought
effective.
about how people viewed the Crown City from the outside.
And that's true. It's what's going to win wars and things like that. So I would keep that in mind. One of the conflicts in the first book, and one of the reasons that I never really read the other books, is there is kind of a moral conflict between doing what's appropriate and correct and being completely Machiavellian or sociopathic about things. So we can't go there yet. It's too far off. We'll do this one. So
She said it's the place.
if you're putting it in your work, I mean, look at that first Game of Thrones book, because it actually has that in it. People who are going to do the right thing. Jon Snow really becomes the only character that
may deliver.
has this
In
impetus
addition
that
to
it's
kicking
important to
ass
do
and
the
keeping
right
the
thing.
peace.
Well, with all their duties,
After Ned
it's no
dies,
wonder
right?
they lose track.
And traveling
So,
around in the middle of the night.
I don't think there's anything
can't be
wrong with
fun either.
having Machiavellianism. In fact, Machiavellianism is in all of my stuff. And in fact, the conflict between how do you be Machiavellian and how do you be moral is in a lot of my fantasy books. I just approach it from a different perspective of George R. R. Martin, rather than everybody needs to become evil in order to gain power, in order to probably not do good. I mean, I just don't have that perspective. And The Godfather is a book and a movie that represents his perspective well. And I think it's better, like if you watch The Godfather movie, because when Michael Corleone embraces the Machiavellianism of the mob, we do it like our morality is about the end goal and what's for the family. Once he steps across that line and assassinates the police officer,
Welcome to Golden Key.
he himself becomes fallen and becomes unable to do or see good correctly. A lot of people don't like Godfather 3, but Godfather 3 is about Michael Corleone returning, like he goes to church. It's about him returning to being a moral creature from the first movie. It's the closure of that cycle. And people, I don't know why people don't like it, other than there's certain aspects of it, like undo the Michael Corleone character. That's the point of Godfather 3, is for him to go back to being the young Michael in the first movie. The Michael that believes in ideals rather than the Michael who believes in power. And at the end of the second movie, we have the height of that, where his wife aborts his baby because she hates him so much, because she hates what he's become, where he's become essentially a sociopath seeking his own power, willing to kill or do whatever he feels is necessary in order to further his family. Right? So that's the conflict. That's the deep thematic moral conflict of The Godfather. And it's there in Game of Thrones as well. But I don't think George R. R. Martin himself really believes in idealistic true morality. Because in order to do that, you have to have a relationship with God. And if you don't have a relationship with God, you're ultimately going to be playing around with that somewhere on the outside ring. It's really impossible to deny that if you are willing to sin to gain power, that you will be able to gain power, you know? So anyway, that's how I approach it. And that's how I do approach it.
You guys hold up all right out there?
More or less.
Excellent. Come on, you ought to be proud of yourself, Your Highness. The work you did today could save lives.
How's that?
Well, you see, most folks know better than to go out at night. But some people don't have a choice. Am I right?
I guess.
They may not have a choice, but my pieces can give them a chance.
Oh, Dune touches on
So,
this
hey,
too, yeah.
How's about you give it a try and see for yourself? I'm a man of my word. So here you go. I look forward to doing business with you again sometime, gentlemen.
Yeah. Atreides and Harkonnen are really just two sides of the same nobility, the same coin. You know? And this sounds weird, but like that element is there even if like God Emperor of Doom, which is one of the weirder books. But I've come to like it over the years, where you have this sandworm, Leo Atreides II, I think. And he's doing all this stuff in order to provide for humanity's future, knowing that it will kill him. It's very interesting.
You really know how to sniff out a scoop, Your Highness. You might just have a future in journalism.
Well, at least that makes one of us.
Oh, touche. So look, I need a hand. Thing is, it's too dangerous for your average Joe. That's where you come in. I'll make it worth your while.
Alright. Another side quest. I'd be willing to give more grim settings a chance if the Ned Starks of the world got to get to the ending. It's proper counterpoint to the cynical weasels. Yeah, Paul is half Harkonnen, half Atreides. Great point. Yeah, no one's ever... I think the Dune series is very difficult to adapt.
Here we go again.
You know, there's certain books,
No run-ins with him
like you
thus
can
far.
adapt
Doubt his
events,
extraction will go
you can
unrewarded.
create aesthetics,
Yeah,
but it's
still running his
very
errands.
difficult
This is
to
the guy who
adapt
agreed to run 'em.
Dune because of the ideas that are behind it. It's kind of like trying to adapt The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. If you've never read this book, this is a book about brothers having philosophical conversations about God. That's the book. So if you're going to adapt it, you're going to have a lot of people sitting around and talking about God and sin and humanity and love and all of these sorts of things that make up the deep content of the book. It's like the characters are there to set up a set of religious and philosophical conversations, almost like the some of the philosophical dramas of old. Like if you read Plato, the
So romantic.
the dialogues between
you get to
Socrates
enjoy it
and
with
make-believe
us,
characters.
all three
They're
of
there
us.
to teach you about philosophy. And so that's what Brothers Karamazov does as well. So why can't you adapt that? Well, because it doesn't adapt to a movie, right? People are not used to that in a movie setting at all, really. So you have to think a little bit more in like terms of straight adventure stories if you want to do an adaptation. It's like a story that really can't be adapted. Like you could try to have the events, but people would be very bored with them because the real meaning behind the story is those conversations that the characters are having. I mean, cranky crustaceans. Where is this? It's over here. Kill the crabs for our hunt. Well, my works, the heroes had the Machiavelli strategy when dealing with characters like Tywin, but they handled the minions more Tolkien
Pitch
touch.
black out here.
Light the way.
Also, my Ned Starks are smart, rather than oblivious. Yeah, in the end, he did what was correct, right? And that was kind of the point. It's that conflict between the Machiavellian. Wow, this guy, like, left me here. Let's do, hand potion. another potion.
Pronto! Make it count!
Yep.
And there's another one over here.
Are we alright?
This guy's hit hard.
Bye.
Be a little bit more defensive here.
Here goes nothing.
Hold on. How do I do this?
Never miss.
We're here to support you in times of need.
Whatever would I do without you? Oh, get by.
Pardon.
No.
Oh, he killed me. No, I didn't die. I guess I have to take one more hit to like die. It's like will like basically two-shot you.
Seafood would make you happy, especially something this big.
What it's gained in size, we've lost in flavor.
That's what you're hung up about?
There we go.
Hell yeah! Put it in the books.
Somehow I got a B on finesse. Report back to a tipster. It's over there. All right. Yeah, this is kind of makes this point. Like, evil wins on Earth every time. That's why Satan is called the king of this world, right? Evil wins almost every time until the evil from the system causes its own destruction and decay, and it falls apart for the cycle to begin anew. I wouldn't say it wins every time. Good wins many times, but evil, there's, you know, God allows evil to happen. And the reason people are evil, not just because of their fallen nature, is because the temptation is that you're going to get something by being evil, right? And you often do. You get at least something in the temporary realm. You know, if you sin, people don't sin because they think it'll hurt them. They sin because they think it'll benefit them. I do like the glowy lights in this game. So I like them in Final Fantasy XIV as well. And in fact, you may hear a lot of Christians say this, especially like on the Orthodox side. There's a great danger to thinking that you are a good person.
Welcome back.
And you know, what does that mean? Well,
A fine show.
there's a hubris to thinking that you are good and that like somehow other people are bad, and that somehow everything that you're doing is in the right.
We use the
Because
freshest fish in every dish.
through that hubris, you
Take
can
a
end
look
up
at the menu.
falling. How much do these cost? Good grief. I don't have this kind of money. This restaurant's
Thank
too
you for your
expensive.
patronage.
For Christians, the world is fallen means more than that, though. It means that through Adam and Eve, sin entered the world and in a literal sense, perverted it. Like, you know,
It's nice to not have to kill
the
anything.
the earth is dangerous because of sin. Disease happens because sin has entered the world. Like, all of the things we consider imperfect parts of life exist because we brought sin into the world. It's humans' responsibility. So it's fallen, not just human nature is fallen, but the world itself is fallen. This emphasis tends to get lost with like a lot of Protestant sects, but it's very present in the Orthodox and the Catholic traditions. And it's really important in those. So the danger of thinking that you're good is that you won't be vigilant against sin. if you're thinking you're good, then you don't have any defense against temptation, which means you're going to fall. You're going to fail the test when the time comes. And you're also going to act with hubris, and you're not going to recognize the humanity in other people because you're going to think other people are bad.
Could crash right here.
Ditto.
When in fact, you're just as bad as them. And we can look at some pictures here.
Perfect timing.
Even good action pictures here. This one's not bad. This is kind of funny. I do like the random pictures that show up in this game. Yeah. You know, sometimes you get some fun ones. I think that's something I'm gonna keep.
Good morning.
Sin is dangerous. He's a giant jellyfish that's also your dad. Oh man, the final level of Final Fantasy X is so long. It's like, you're inside Sin. It's like, oh my god. Been here forever. Alright. I don't need to refuel. Quest locations we have here. Do I have that? Better engine blade. Let's take a look at my quests. I guess we could do... No, that one's pretty far out. I guess we could do that one. We could try that one. Oh no, you know, let's do the story quest. We can come back and do those hunts later. Declaration of War. Oh, emergency delivery. No, that one's further out. Yeah, we'll do the Declaration of War. Auto. Story quest. It's kind of like an MMO. Like, there's all these side quests and stuff. How does Final Fantasy 15 compare to other Final Fantasy games in your opinion? Well, I dislike the art direction. I've talked about that. But, you know, like, Adrian, you're from Central California, so maybe you get this. That, like, driving around Central California here is not that interesting to me. Nor is combining Central California with giraffes and, like, weird fantasy things. It's just a weird mix of aesthetics. Like, I don't hate the fact that this looks like, you know, this looks like the Cascades right here, you know? It looks like Central California. If I'm looking this direction, I'm like, yeah, that's totally Central California. If I'm looking this direction, I'm like, this is Baker, California, right? It just looks like California, and I don't know. I don't think of California as like the most interesting. Well, California's got some interesting topography, actually. California's got a lot of interesting stuff. But it looks like the more empty parts of California that nobody goes to, you know? When you drive out past San Bernardino and you're like, whoa, California is mostly desert. You're like, yeah, that's Cadillac Desert, baby. And then, like, the weird cars. It's just a weird mix of aesthetics. So I don't like the art direction, but I like the gameplay. And I haven't done enough of the story to really give an opinion on the story, but I think the story is probably okay. So far, I think it's okay. It, as others have pointed out, it does have a somewhat troubled production history. It was originally going to be Final Fantasy Versus 13, and was in production back in the PS3 days, and took a long time to come out because of different kinds of delays. Where are we? Oh, we gotta walk over there? Really? I can't, like, drive over there? This is where it made us park? Alright, fine. Let's walk over there. I have, like, an amulet that makes it so I don't lose stamina by running.
Feels so
Very convenient item.
Yeah.
I went on a tour with a Japanese woman, and she was very impressed by the open space of America, freaking out over cow farms and stuff. That's great. There are rural parts to Japan, you know. Rural Japan is a thing. But rural Japan is not as empty as Central California. Let's put it that way. It's not nearly as empty as rural California. And rural California is the most populous state. We think of California as being this place full of like cities, mega cities and stuff, but it's mostly empty space. You know, you have like the LA basin that is full of like sprawling suburban area, and then you get a lot of empty space. Is this guy attacking me? Is this guy attacking us? Am I gonna have to kill a giraffe? I hope you're not thinking that you can stand against the might of me. What am I supposed to do here? Head to the... No, I am supposed to head to the blockade. Is there like a secret way to get through it here? Here we go. Here she is. Here's our girl.
From here we will split into 2 groups. Prince Noctis, please join the Marshal up ahead. The rest of you will assist me in the diversionary effort.
She got some weird teeth. Proceed.
Well, see you guys later.
You go give him hell. We'll do the
I
same.
heard leaving
on our
streams up harms your channel algorithmically. Have you thought about starting an archive channel or maybe repurposing Bantha fodder for those who may want to visit? Yeah, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that too much. And I haven't heard of streams hurting channels algorithmically. We can always test it, you know. It's like put this stream and the recent streams on a different channel. And like that's the stream backup. You know, that's always
Once
an option,
we're in,
is to just
we
try it out.
launch our ambush, pushing out while support pushes in, crushing the enemy from both sides.
Okay, gotcha. Now this also looks like Central California. This looks like Knight's Ferry up by Modesto. I don't know if Adrian's ever been there, but like, yeah, there's like these ruins of kind of early modern, or not early modern, but like late 19th century buildings and stuff. It's kind of interesting. This looks exactly like Knight's Ferry. Except you don't find treasure on the ground in Knight's Ferry. You find like tadpoles in abandoned ponds and stuff. This looks exactly like Knight's Ferry. Holy crap! It's awesome. In a way, now I'm more impressed by the art direction because it looks like something from actual California, like an actual location. Here we go. I'm killing soldiers and.
I'll get right on that.
All right. There's more guys over here. Okay, down here. Yeah? Oh, there you go. Kill the Axeman. Kill the soldier. These guys are kind of low level. D. D finesse.
I'll be gone before you know it.
I'll enjoy it while I can.
Above us, got it.
I like how they have like little knightly things. Alright. I do like the music. This is like good epic music here. I like the look only because I love driving through such areas in the US. Love the desert and its junipers. I don't, yeah, it's not like I dislike the way Baker looks necessarily. It's just like, it doesn't feel fantastical to me. And the addition of the fantasy elements is weird to me. So it's just like, I don't know, it's a dissonance that I'm not crazy about here. Let's open what we got here. Somehow I can't stick up there. Can I get up here? There we go. Can also use my crossbow.
So it should be.
Otherwise, you'd only get in everyone's way.
Could have gone it alone if I wanted.
That mentality could prove your undoing, Highness.
Oh, that voice. I recognize the voice. Who is that? I recognize the voice. I recognize the voice actor, for sure. Going this way. Around back here. Okay, I'm not seeing any bad guys.
Knocked!
Marshal.
How
good to
long
see you again.
until you think
All right on
you need
your
to
end?
pay a subscription to use
Right
consoles?
as rain.
Wow.
The Nifs couldn't take their eyes off us.
I don't know,
Thanks
but that's
to
a
you,
good
we were
question.
spared their attention.
I mean, you're kind of already there with Xbox and PlayStation. Like, they give you a big game library for a subscription.
Stay right where you
So,
are.
I mean, maybe at a certain point,
Well, if it isn't core,
the whole thing is
immortal.
subscription-based. But
So, you survived the Citadel. But you won't survive what I have in store for you. It's past time your legend came to an end.
gamers are somewhat stingy, though, and somewhat staunch with this. Like, the Xbox One failed because they basically said it would need to always be online, and that you couldn't buy used games initially. People just pre-ordered PS4s because Microsoft was like, yeah, you can't use used games with the Xbox One. And people are like, what? No, I want to be able to give my games away or like trade them with my friends or whatever. It's a sniper rifle somewhere.
Prepare ourselves for the long haul.
Snipers There we go. Max queer ass.
Hey, Ignis! Instructions!
Oh, I missed the timing. Too bad. Let's see what he's fucking doing here.
Nice one, Procto.
That's costing a lot.
Gladio!
No more fun and games.
Never fear! Prompto's here!
Enough of it. You will suffer with it.
Really, this is vulnerable.
Gladio, do it!
I cannot be defeated. No, this can't be happening. In the name of Niflheim.
Oh, I'm gonna die again. Oh, that was cool. Go back there. Now we just, I guess, killed the other leg here. Kill the head.
No.
No!
To the Empire.
I feel like I get a finesse like the worse I do. I get more finesse if I die.
Impressive. Seeing you in action puts my mind at ease. It's clear I don't need to worry anymore. I'll return to watching the Nifs. Till next time. Take care.
I wonder if there's a way to turn off the chromatic aberration in this game. I really don't like it. Makes this, like, the bright scenes look really weird. Should have some new glasses. I wonder if they're here. I got some glass glasses instead of these, like, polycarbonate ones. Which are good safety glasses, but, like, they're... I don't know how to show you guys. But, like, the chromatic aberrations...
Not so bad out here once you get used to it.
Still a lot we haven't seen, though.
And a lot for us to do.
Yeah.
Buck up. We're just getting started.
Yeah, that blue and red. Not a fan. Well, we leveled up. The voice actor might be from Community. I recognize him from somewhere. That's a bad one. Look, his hair is just like in the face. Sometimes there's like good screenshots. You never quite know. I don't think I like any of these though. What time is it? Time to peace out here. My mom had surgery this week. That's why I'm still streaming on Saturday. So she had a hiatal hernia. It's where like your stomach, part of your stomach goes up past your diaphragm. So they had to correct that. Super painful.
And what of the elusive ring?
Eluna Freya has absconded with it.
Find and kill her. The ring is the final piece.
We may do well to take her alive. The Six wield power beyond our imagination. The Oracle holds the key for the king. She could unlock many secrets. Nay, High Commander.
It's kind of funny that the cutscenes are like in a lower
Lord
resolution
Ravis,
and frame rate than the game.
Imperial army is
When you play it on PC especially.
at your disposal.
A moot point, while the fugitives remain at large. My men and I will continue our search for the Prince and the Oracle.
So glorious. My crystal.
Look out, world. Here we come.
We can finally leave this Dust Bowl behind.
The lands beyond are vast by comparison to lead.
Bigger's better. More stuff to see and do.
First comes to Sky, a region known for its wetlands.
Really? Wetlands?
There's also a chocobo forest.
Now we're talking.
Further west lies the Claim region, wherein we'll find the town of Lestalem.
Oh. Isn't that where Iris is headed?
Barring delays, she should have arrived by now. Maybe even had herself a look at the meteor.
The meteor of the Six?
The same. Its heat is harnessed to power
There we go.
Lestalem.
Whoa.
Now it would be cool to like be in Flagstaff, like from Flagstaff here, and then there's like bizarre crystals sticking out of the mountains in Flagstaff. Actually, this kind of looks like, yeah, it looks like Flagstaff. Let me say it looks like Flagstaff.
I believe we have a solid lay of the land now. The driver's seat is yours, Noct. If you so desire it.
Noctis cannot drive the car whenever he wants.
Who could this be? Hello?
Noct?
Iris?
It's really you. So good to hear your voice. Everything's fine over here. We managed to make it to Lestalem. We just settled into our new digs. So yeah, let me know when you're coming so we can meet up.
Yeah, will do.
You better.
Yeah, so the PS5 does have an FPS issue, but in this case it's because the cutscene is a video file.
Yours wasn't the obituary
So,
broadcast all
so
over
you can
this
only watch the video file in
What
the
about
original
me?
resolution.
She say anything about me?
The worst game, by far, is Castlevania Lord of Shadows that I played.
Chocobos! Chocobos!
No time for that. Need to get to Lestalem.
The cutscenes are in like really terrible 720p. Alright, we'll go to the Chocobo post.
Sure. Let's check it out. Yes! Gonna be
awesome.
So, like, if you play Castlevania Lords of Shadow on PC, you'll play it in, like, crisp 4K, 120 FPS. Like, this is not a hard game for a modern machine to run at all. But then you get the cutscenes, and it's, like, blurry, aliasing everywhere. Just looks awful. It's really funny. It's kind of like if you were to play an older game like, I don't know, Jedi Knight now. The cutscenes are in, like, 120p. They're like so blurry and small.
Word of another lost tag. Don't know where you boys are headed, but would y'all mind picking it up if it's on your way?
Alright. Look for a dog tag. Get up our side quest here. Alright, that's options. Display. No, graphics. Assets. Assets are off. You know, I don't see anything for chromatic aberration. I might be able to do it like in the INI file or something. That like kind of blurry rainbow effect on stuff. I really don't like it. It's made by a bunch of nerds who wear glasses, and they think that that's the way things are supposed to look. It's not.
Well, if it isn't Sonya.
Huh. Somebody you know?
Spoke with her just the once, back at Hammerhead.
Now that you mention it, you were chatting someone up.
She's real knowledgeable about wildlife. Could teach us a thing or two. Go on and introduce yourself.
Hey, nerd!
What is it now? If you don't mind, I'm rather busy at the moment.
Oh.
Oh, it's you boys. Wait, who are you again? And what do you need now?
Nothing.
You're saying you distracted me for nothing? This won't do. Won't do at all.
All right, nerd.
Precious seconds down the drain. How am I to make up for them? Of course. You boys can help me.
Okay.
That's the spirit. I was just thinking I could use a few extra hands for catching frogs, to be precise.
Wait, what? Frogs?
And if you're thinking any old frog will do, wrong. You're not.
Yeah, Lords of Shadow is a very... It was underrated even when it came out. But it's really a good game. The gameplay's fantastic. The aesthetics are really top-notch. They really hold up now.
And make sure they're fresh.
Even more than, I guess at this point, almost 15 years later. Or was it made in 2010? 2011? I don't remember when it was made, but like, the aesthetics really hold up.
Overwhelming.
Let's hope it'll be edifying as well.
It's a great art direction.
You managed to talk to her.
I love it.
Oh, you know me.
And it has a main character who will like bother to cross himself. That's kind of cool. Like, I can't remember the last time I've seen a main character who's like, will cross himself. Never. Never. You couldn't do it in 2023. You couldn't have a character be unironically like Christian. It's 10 of these.
Thanks.
There we go. High potions. These are pretty good. Good. Buy them out. Oh, that's how many I have. I see. I'll buy some of those. They're cheap. Repair kit. Could have some use. Memories of Final Fantasy III. Here we go. Final Fantasy III soundtrack. I love that. Buy some ingredients. So I can make some food out in when we go camping with our Coleman lanterns. Reinhardt crossed himself in Castlevania 64. Maybe. I don't remember it though. But like, it's really cool. It's like, man, they don't put this. They couldn't put this in a game now. Have a character be, it'd be like that awful, just abysmal Castlevania show they made. that was like, no one can be unironically religious. No one can actually believe in things like God. Quests. Wait, actually, let's go in the diner and get some info. I like this girl's just walking back and forth. Just like a generic NPC here. Just walks back and forth. I just find them kind of funny now. That's all. Wait, what's this here? Something you can look at. Justice Monsters 5. Look at that poster. That's a rad poster. Can I play the game? Play. Play some Justice Monsters 5. Alright, here we go. Is this like a little mini game I could play? Oh, I can't wait. The evil Grim Gargoyle and his Bahamut Grand Fleet have launched an invasion of the peaceful Nova Galaxy, threatening the freedom of its monster denizens. Back once more to fight for what's right, the Justice Monsters zoom in to save the day. Are you ready? High five for justice. Alright, what do we do? This shoots. R select, swap hero tech. Oh, I see. It's almost like pinball. Second wave. Oh, I can do different monsters do different things. Oh, that's cool. Pattern. There we go. Is it hero tech? What is that? I don't know what that did. This is kind of a fun mini game. Boss encounter. There we go. It was kind of a fun little mini game. Live action adaptations of games and animated films need to be killed with fire. I can't think of a single one I know of that turned out all right. Oh, I get some tech ready. This would be actually a really fun game to play. I could see this like on the Neo Geo. This would be like this looks like a Neo Geo game from like 1996. Oh, cool. I get like 2 little balls here. Oh, some health. Stage clear. Yeah, this is actually like a pretty legitimate minigame here. I think we should make a live adaptation of "You're fired!" A coin. This game runs really good on the Steam Deck, by the way. I was playing it last night on the Steam Deck. It runs great. Can't get up there. Wood! There we go. There we go. It's actually pretty good. I like for a little game like this could seriously be an indie game right on its own. It's actually really good. Like Tetramaster could be its own game. This could be its own game too. Like if somebody made this for a Neo Geo, for like the Neo Geo hardware, I would totally believe it was actually from the 90s. Oh, apparently I can slice. Oh, that's cool. I don't know how slice works, though. Well, looks like something just started playing. I'm gonna hear some of my music for a minute. It's a little interesting. Wonder what made that start playing. It's fun though. This just keeps going on here. I wonder what do I get any rewards for doing this, or is this just like a game to play? Can't tell. That's pretty cool. This is a fun little game. I see, like, each hero has, like, a little bit different stuff he can do. Bonus damage. I think I'll probably have to quit this because I don't know if, like, if there's a fail state I can achieve here. It's a little too easy now that I'm playing it. Oh, I see. Oh, my guy died. That's how you get to a fail state. Oh, then he starts like throwing fire down from above. That's interesting. Quit playing Justice Monsters 5, yes. That's a fun minigame, though. Do I get anything for it? I got a high elixir. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Actually, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty fun game. All right, brother.
Welcome to the Crow's Nest. Grab some food before you go? Take a look at the menu.
The French fries or the salmon? I don't have a whole lot of gil to just be like buying food for $1,500.
Look out, stomach.
And this is like yen.
Suppose I know the area pretty well.
Quest destinations. Retrieve the dog tag. Three Houses is the first Fire Emblem I played. I want to play another one in a similar vein to Three Houses, and Engage doesn't look like it. Any other previous Fire Emblem games like Three Houses? Fire Emblem Fates will have 3 different paths to it.
So, you think you're pretty tough?
And like stuff to do in between the older Fire Emblem games are a little more focused on the combat and the story. So Fire Emblem Fates, you might check that one out. It's for the 3DS. If you don't have a 3DS, check out the ones for the Game Boy Advance, as well as Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. I think Fire Emblem Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. Wait, which one is it? The GameCube one. They're both good. There's a GameCube one and a Wii one. So I think Path of Radiance is the GameCube one. It's really good. Definitely check that one out.
Best of luck.
Sorry.
Go
these hunts. I'll probably do these off stream because I think they're kind of boring. But all right.
Don't work too hard.
I'm not working too hard. What time is it? Probably need 2. We'll play about 20 more minutes. Goof off and talk some more. Debased coin. All the coins are debased in America. Yuck. Roy is from... Let me think. I think is he from Fire Emblem Sacred Stones? Let's Google it. The Binding Blade and the Blazing Blade. Oh, he's the son of the main character from the Blazing Blade. So Roy's from the Binding Blade. Ike is from Path of Radiance. Are you concerned about how much young conservatives embrace Andrew Tate? I think most of them don't, but to any extent that they do, yes, I'm concerned. He's a big phony, but also like you should never want to emulate a sex trafficker and a guy who makes money basically by pimping, right? So he ran like a cam website and then took money from girls with that. So yeah, I wouldn't follow anything he has to say, I think. If possible. Professor's protege. Where's that one? Over there. Let's do, where is it? Friends of a Feather.
Everything in order?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. So I'll just level with you. Most of the masculinity gurus online are big fakes, and they've been exposed at this. They basically hire prostitutes to take pictures with them.
They got something special.
And they rent fancy cars and take pictures with themselves standing next to the fancy cars like they own them. You know. Now, I will say this about Andrew Tate is that him and his brother actually... let's call it a night.
Yeah, whatever.
Woohoo! You heard him, Ignis?
Yes, loud and clear.
You know, they actually did engage in, like, they were competitive kickboxers and stuff. So that's, like, a real thing. Him and his brother both did that. But you have to understand that, like, when they're selling you a course on masculinity, you're a mark, right? People who sit around, I used to know this guy in Vegas named Dan Bilzerian. And a lot of people idolize Dan Bilzerian because they don't know Dan Bilzerian. Whereas I knew him. And I don't idolize him. Nor do I envy him. I don't want to like say too much about Dan because I wouldn't want to say anything bad about him. But like I like my life better than Dan's life. For sure. Is there a little trailer to stay in here? But Dan also doesn't sell you a course on like how to be masculine. He sells his image to people that But like he doesn't ever want you to look behind the curtain, so to speak. There's no course that, like, looking at a course to teach you how to be masculine is like, I don't know, looking at a course to teach you how to be human. You are a man or you are a woman. You are that person. There's nothing that you can do or not do that makes you not a man, right? You can have your body be completely mutilated. It won't change anything, right? It's like somebody who forcibly mutilates you doesn't turn you into a woman or anything else for that matter, right? I don't think I can cook here.
We ought to hold on to this one.
This is a good one. I want to say that one. It's a funny one. So most of the time when they're selling you on masculine thing, you just ignore that, right? Nor would their lifestyle give you the satisfaction that you wanted. We adjust to whatever our current circumstances are. The change has to come from within, not from without. So the person who has a really wealthy life, you know, it's like rock stars who commit suicide. It's like Chris Cornell committed suicide. And it's like people are like, man, it's so sad that he's depressed and blah, blah, blah. It's like you can have millions of dollars and have millions of people absolutely love you and want to be with you and think the world of you and still kill yourself because that can be not enough to make you happy. So you should take from that like happiness, you're not going to get it by having money and things. And you're not even really going to get it by some of the other things that like trads are concerned with. Like, oh, well, if I was married and I had a wife and kids, that would make me happy. Those are things that can contribute to the holistic value of your life. Absolutely. I am happy with my wife and kids. That's great, you know. But there's plenty of people who aren't happy with that. You get divorced. There's people who can have everything that you think would make you happy and it doesn't make them happy. Which means there's probably more to it than what's on the surface. So for young men, the idea of like having lots of stuff and basically having a lot of sex, that is appealing. Like, how can I do that? Well, you can, but even if that course were to give you that, which it won't, because he's just making money selling you garbage. Even if it could, it's not going to give you the satisfaction that it appears to give. Which means you got to think a little bit deeper.
You bet.
Let's hit it.
You know, if you ever meet like a Benedictine monk or like an Orthodox monk, and you're like, how is this guy cheerful and happy when he owns nothing?
How about taking pics of whatever catches my eye?
You got to think about that.
What do you want to see?
What does it matter? Not my camera.
Yeah, I guess you have a point.
So anyway, yeah, I worry when people idolize someone like Andrew Tate because it's all fake, right? And if they were to somehow emulate what he did, which they really can't, let's talk about how stuff is fake, right? So a lot of these guys that sell themselves on masculinity, like I said, they rent the cars and they rent the women too. They're prostitutes. And if they're not prostitutes, they are not there because they like the person.
Wow.
Ooh, look at that.
Where do you think they're all going?
We could always follow them and find out.
I think I'm going to do the quest instead. Should we follow them? I don't think so. Let's go to the quest. Yeah, it's fake because like they'll take fake pictures. Like the women who've been hired to take those pictures have come out and said that. Like, oh, I was hired to do this. I was hired to go out on this boat with this person. I'm an escort. I was hired to do this. Playboy hired me to do this photo shoot with this rich guy. You know, all of these things are constructed and fake. These women aren't actually interested in them because it's their job. They're interested in them to the extent that it's their job. It's like the extension of a strip club. You don't go to a strip club and think that like that's real, hopefully. But lots of marks do. There's men who go to strip clubs and they think the strippers are interested in them. Like, you have to be insane to think this. The stripper is selling you the fantasy, not just the view of their body, but the fantasy that a woman is interested in you. That's the fantasy of the strip club. And once you know that, you'll never want to go to one again. You know? You're never going to find that interesting again. Once you know that it's,
got it bad.
you know, what the fantasy they're selling.
I suppose.
Masculinity guys are selling a fantasy too. Their bodies don't look like that normally, right? If you see, like, you remember the Liver King, right? You know, I mean, I knew Dan Bilzerian, but like, I know for a fact he uses steroids and always has, and he's pretty open about it. So if you're like, man, I wish I had abs, it's like, well, you're gonna hop on drugs to use that to get the
I hate
abs.
to break this to y'all, but we can't permit our birds to leave the post. Not while Deadeye's still about. He's an uncommonly ferocious.
Oh, we're gonna have to kill a behemoth here.
Taking to prowling these
You know, so yeah, the body's not real. The bodies of the women are not real.
tragedies. We have no
The cars are not real.
rentals. But hold on now.
Great, if you made a lot of money and bought a Ferrari, awesome. I know guys who've owned Ferraris.
The likes of Deadeye.
Like, the Ferrari doesn't make you happy, and in most cases, you don't even get to drive the Ferrari fast.
But knowing the danger, I wouldn't blame you for saying no.
Are there women who will sleep with you because you have a Ferrari? Maybe, but they're probably not the women that you actually want to know, right? And the other thing too is like when you get down to like the nitty gritty of pickup artists, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret: is that a person in a healthy marriage has more sex than a pickup artist. Now that sounds weird because you think of the pickup artist is having sex with different women, but he's actually not having sex as frequently as a person in a healthy marriage. There's plenty of unhealthy marriages. The problem is people compare it to like a dead marriage where people aren't investing in their marriage emotionally and they just aren't sleeping with each other, right? But healthy marriages are actually more sexually active than your pickup artist guy that you're following. So if you're looking for like the quantity of sex, it's actually in a stable relationship and not in like a bunch of hedonism, unless you're like part of that weird part of like the hedonistic gay culture where they have sex parties and stuff. Maybe then you're having more sex. But like you know, your typical pickup artist is actually not getting laid every night because it's a ton of effort to go to the club and spend hours talking up a girl to try to get her into bed. It's actually a crap ton of effort. You can read Roosh V on this. He's like, after a while, I preferred masturbating to going out and picking up girls because it was way less work. And it produced basically the same effect, right? Which is like to have an orgasm. And you think about how disordered your thinking has to be. I'm going to turn on my camera. Just turn my camera big on this. To say, well, you know, what I want is to have another person present while I have an orgasm. That's like a very disordered view of sex. Sex is a unitive and generative act. That's according to the church, but you can't really argue against it. It brings man and woman together and it produces offspring. That's the purpose of it. And so when you get away from that, it's like having an eating disorder. Oh, I've had lots of sterile sex. Great. It's like saying, I've eaten lots of hamburgers and thrown them up. Okay, have you eaten any food? You're destroying the nutritional value of the food by engaging in a sex act that's, in the case of a pickup artist, designed not to be either generative or unitive. It's a sterile act for your own gratification, not even to bring you closer to that other person. So it's not generative, it's not unitive, it serves no purpose. It's literally a purposeless endeavor. It's completely disordered.
So what'll it be today? Y'all still keeping on, keeping on?
All right, cool. Look at all these spots. Anyway, that's my rant about that. Most of it's fake. If your life is not satisfying as it is, it's okay to look at yourself and make changes. In fact, it's good. It's good to say, like, well, I'm gonna make this change. What you shouldn't do is buy systems and think that like the guy who bought a bunch of followers online, a lot of the followers are fake too, guys. We got to be real. You'll notice this with guys on Twitter who have 100,000 followers and get like 2 retweets. And they're getting stomped by frog accounts with 500 followers because those 500 followers of that frog account are real human beings that actually engage and care about what that person is posting. So those 100,000 followers may just be fake. They may buy them in order to get that initial boost on their account. We see this all the time. It's like, hey, here's a new masculinity guy on Twitter. He has 50,000 followers or 100,000 followers, has no engagement, and he joined Twitter 2 months ago. Those followers are fake. You know, you can know this. You can be fairly sure of this reality. See if there's any hunts.
Season's been giving us a real hassle. Interesting choice.
Right. This is the behemoth. We got to kill the behemoth to save the chocobos.
Do you?
Brown's Edge Perfect himself bragged about getting hotter prosties with his sub money a little while ago. Yeah, great. You had
Interesting choice.
Great, you had sterile sex with prostitutes. Wow. Very admirable.
Y'all take care now.
Like having money, I mean, it's one way to do it. It's like, I want to have money so I can hire prostitutes. Okay. But that's not satisfying, right? Like, what is
it?
A huge desire of a man and a woman. This is not exclusive to men, but men and women end up doing bad things because of,
we should make haste for Lestalem.
like, kind of disordering this desire. The desire is to be wanted and cared about by another person. So how does a woman do that? Well, in a disordered way, right? In the ordered way, the woman attracts a man, interacts with the man, develops a relationship with the man, marries him, and produces children. And, like, that's the natural way things are supposed to go. But if she can't seem to find a man that's appropriate, but she still wants that male attention, she wants that feeling of being wanted, well, then maybe she makes an OnlyFans, right? So that's a disordered way of getting what you want, which is to be loved. Men do the same thing. They hire a prostitute to sell them the illusion that they are desirable, to give them what they want. If you get down and you dig and you talk to people, like, that's how strip clubs make money, is they tell women, I mean, the women present the illusion to the man that they care about the man on some level and that they want the man on some level. Not that, you know, do you want to see my boobs? Well, great. I can pull out my phone and see 1,000 different pairs of boobs in 2 seconds. While these ones are live and in person. It's like, baby, you look so good. Just, I mean, you can, I'm not going to tell anyone to go to a strip club, but you can test this out sometime. You know, not to get too deep into my past, but I've been to strip clubs. I lived in Las Vegas, right? They talk to you about you. They like say, oh, what do? You know, where'd you get this coat? Is this an Armani coat? Oh, it is. You know, where'd you pick it up? Blah, blah, blah. Right? So they talk to you. They know how to talk to a man and talk up a man in order to sell him a higher value product, which is a private dance. Do you want to go in a private room and have a dance? So the man starts to think that, like, this woman cares about him or wants him. No, she's trying to get money from him. And when you're aware of that game, like, you'll never do it again. But, like, it's extremely sad that people will do this in order to have a little bit of a feeling that another person wants them. You know, we're flying around as little particles trying to join with each other, and we do that in really disordered ways sometimes. People will be really lonely and then go on the internet and look at porn and then get even lonelier and then be even more disconnected from people because they start to lose sight of how normal people look at them and act and think about sex. You create disordered thinking as you look at porn, and it starts because you're lonely, and it makes you lonelier, and it becomes like this horrible feedback loop. And then you have to get professional help for it. And if you need professional help for it, you should get professional help for it. I'm sorry I'm going off on this rant, but, like, people need to be aware of this. Like, everything on the internet is selling you a product. I'm selling you a product, right? But my product is like a book. You know, my book on the creative process is my book will inform you enough to help you develop and refine your creative process so that you're more productive with whatever you want to do. And that's what I want to help you, right? But I'm selling a product. I'm selling fiction books that I hope you'll read. I'm selling you the time that I'm spending, like, talking to you, because I can generate some ad revenue too, right? It doesn't mean I care less about this, but you just have to know what people are selling you. There's nothing wrong with a financial transaction if everybody is on board with it and knows what they're getting. If you buy a cookbook, hopefully you get recipes to cook food. You wouldn't buy a cookbook, but people will sell cookbooks like, this cookbook will make you shredded. It's like, okay, you're buying a diet plan, right? And there's nothing wrong with buying a diet plan. The problem is people are like, you buy my masculinity course and it'll make you like me. Well, you got to think a little bit deeper about what that means. All natural, is it Geisel greens? I thought it was Geisel greens.
Hold up. Don't the chocobos eat this stuff?
It's also suitable for human consumption.
I'll leave it consuming 2 other humans.
Yeah, what Adrian says is OnlyFans the ultimate sad culmination of that. OnlyFans is a parasocial thing. So the woman goes on OnlyFans and develops a parasocial relationship with the man who give them money. The men want to feel like they're interacting with a real human being and that human being has some kind of care about their existence, even if it's for money. And that's really sad, but that's the way it is. And OnlyFans is a big in-run around the way pornography was destroyed on the internet, which was through a company called MindGeek using sites like Pornhub to basically scrape other sites' content, put it up for free, and run every other site out of business. So you had to work with them or no one else. You had to work with their companies or never get paid. So OnlyFans allows people to interact directly with the fans. But it's really selling the strip club fantasy that this girl actually cares about you, that the girl, wants to know who you are. No, it's a recipe book.
There you are.
I'm gonna buy this Cactuar statuette. I don't know why. Final Fantasy X soundtrack. Heck yeah. I'm gonna buy stickers. I'm gonna buy all this stuff.
Thanks. Come back soon.
That's it.
What's what?
I've come up with a new recipe.
Can't wait to try it.
Yeah, I also talked about, Fiona Whiff also talked about a lot of author accounts. If they have an even number of followers and following, and it's like in the 100,000, they get zero engagement. It's just bots following other bots. I've talked about automated Twitter accounts that will follow anyone with author in their bio and then unfollow them later to make it look like they're actually important. But meanwhile, they get zero engagement because other author accounts are also doing the same thing. They're all bots. They're all bots botting in a sea of bots being bots. It's nothing but bots everywhere, like as far as the eye can see.
You see this, Nut? What about it?
All right, I'm going to save the game. And we'll pick it up from there another time. I'll do some side quests on the side, as they say. All right, boom. Let's pull this back up here. Okay, guys, I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out with me and making it fun on the Saturday. I will stream on Wednesday, and I think I will have Brian Niemeyer on the show. So if you're not on my mailing list, make sure you hop on the list, dvspress.com/list. If you haven't gotten the free book for this year, Demon Ex Machina, dvspress.com/free-book, and you'll get a free copy of that book and get on the mailing list. So I will send that out. An announcement about the Substack. I will have a piece coming out on Substack on the corporate period in the arts, and I will do some video content on that as well. So if you want to know my analytical take about what art period we just experienced, it wasn't the modern and the postmodern, except in academia. The bigger art movement was the corporate period, and it's really about the model, the corporate model, how art was made and sold to people. And we've transitioned into a new realm. OnlyFans is actually part of that, in that there's not a corporate, you don't have corporate patronage, but individual collective patronage that kind of goes around the corporate model entirely. So anyway, that's what's coming down the pipe. So I think we're going to do 5 Eastern, 5 or 6 East, I think 6 Eastern, 5 Central on Wednesday. So that's the plan for now. And I'll send out an email about that in a day or two. And I hope you guys will have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, I need to quit this game. Quit the game. All right, here we go. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Is there anything else? Let me check the chat before I go. Remember still your late teens when older women assured okay, but smile like there's more. She finally laid me on her side. Couldn't buck. I have no idea what you said, man. I have no idea what that means. Sorry. But yeah, have a great day, guys.